I wonder, are you in a thin place or a thick place these days? Places where people feel most strongly connected with God's presence are referred to as thin places. This must mean that thick places are those places where or when we feel God's presence is out of reach. I've heard people talk about being in thin places. Each summer during the Montreat youth conferences, groups of youth and their leaders rise before dawn and hike up the rocky summit of Lookout Mountain. There they take in the views of the Montreat Valley and the Seven Sisters mountain range. This must be a thin place, because after the excitement of reaching the top settles, a hush falls over everyone as they realize the awe of where they are. A place so thin that it feels like the Creator's breath is blowing through your hair. Another thin place I've heard people described is on the island of Iona in Scotland, where the Celtic Christian tradition draws many a Presbyterian pilgrim. In this tradition, it is understood that some places, the veil that separates heaven from earth has grown very thin and becomes permeable, and the divine is felt and experienced with greater clarity and intensity. So it seems to me that there are places where we can go with the hopes of entering these thinly veiled realms. But I wonder just how far we must go to reach these places. Here's the struggle I've been having lately. I long for the thin places, where I can relax and let go of the tension, the anxiety, the worry of the pandemic. But frankly, much of the time, it's as if I have to work so hard to put those things aside that by the time I feel I have shedded those layers, something else is already piling on. I imagine that I am not alone in these feelings, especially in these recent weeks. Since a trip to Iona is not possible in the near future, and the trails of Montreat are closed, I've been wondering, is it possible for us to shape our environment, to practice deeper awareness, to still ourselves long enough to make space for thinning? If the answer is yes, then we must also ask ourselves the question, are we thinning or are we thickening the place we find ourselves in these days? Now, here's an invitation to all of us. We don't have to climb a mountain. We don't have to jump on TripAdvisor. We don't even have to step outside, though I certainly will. In this day, the invitation is simply to ponder. Where are you feeling the veil between you and the divine as thin? Where is the veil between you and God feeling thick? This is all. Just begin to notice. Simply practice heightening your awareness. This is all that is needed in this day. We have time to practice, time to look around, to just pause in whatever moment we find ourselves in, and ask the question, where is the divine in relation to me in this very moment? Are you pulling weeds? Are you teaching someone algebra? Are you making a plan to go to the grocery store? In all the things that we do today, may we just pause for a moment to recognize that we might very well be in a thin place. Blessings on your day. Stay safe and know that you are loved.